In this video, I want to go over a slightly more advanced function. It uses stuff that you should already know, but the way it's used is in a way you haven't seen yet, so I wanted to do a really quick demo on how to do this. So we're going to create a function that performs some kind of a transaction. If you purchase an item, it'll take the transaction information and generate some output that tells you what was purchased, for how much money, etc. So we're going to create a function and call it process transaction. And ultimately we're going to print a statement that says something like, Bob purchased, let's say, 10 units of cake mix at a price of $5.99 each. The total transaction cost was that should be $59.90. Now the problem with this is we could call this function right here and it would output the results down below. But it would always be the same thing. It would always be Bob buying 10 units of cake mix for $5.99, etc., etc., etc. And we don't want that. We want to be able to customize who buys what is purchased, the quantity purchased, and the price purchased. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to create a function parameter, or parameters, so that we can specify this information each time. So right here, let's create some parameters for the information in here. Let's say the name of the person is the first variable, and it's going to be a data type of string. You need to specify the data type. You also have the name of the product, and that's also going to be a string, so cake mix. You have the price of what's being purchased. That's going to be a double because doubles include numbers after the decimal point, so we need to have a double for price. And then for quantity, this is a little bit trickier. You might think it's supposed to be an integer, but that would actually be incorrect. We want a situation where the total transaction cost is processed or calculated. So that total cost would be the price of the product that you're buying multiplied by the quantity of the product that you're buying. And if you remember, you're not able to multiply a double by an integer. You just can't do that. So what you'll have to do is make both of them doubles or both of them integers. And because the price has to be a double, then you just have to make quantity a double as well. So we'll do that. What we'll also do is create a variable, and it'll be called total cost, and that's going to equal quantity times price. So now we have 5 variables: name, product, price, quantity, and total cost. These are all local variables that are specifically used for this function right here. You can only access or use them inside the function called process transaction. So let's go and use these variables to replace some of the keywords in this sentence. Instead of Bob, let's put the name variable, and quantity will be replaced with the actual variable quantity. Cake mix will be replaced by the product variable. The price will be replaced by price variable. And the total transaction cost will be replaced with total cost. And did I miss anything? Name, quantity, product, price, total. I think I got everything. I may have made a typo here or there. Let's see what happens. So let's go ahead and do the process transaction function call. And as you can see, it's kind of like auto-completes right here. Go ahead and click on that, or click the enter button or the return button on your keyboard, and creates basically like a skeleton or a structure for the function call, and says that you need to pass in 2 strings and a double and another double in order for this function call to work properly. So it's just a game of filling in the blanks. So the first one is for name. So let's do that. Let's go Bob. And the product is cake mix. The price, what did I say the price was? Was it $5.99? I think that was what it was. And then the quantity, I think I said we bought 10. I could be wrong, but whatever. And as you can see, this function call passes these 4 values into the function. And then those 4 values replace name, quantity, product, and price. And of course we go ahead and calculate total cost inside the function, and that total cost gets placed right there. So Bob purchased 10 units of cake mix at a price of $5.99 each. The total transaction cost was $59.9. Unfortunately, you can't, at this level of knowledge of Swift programming, we don't really have a way to make it 59.90, like 90, and we don't really have a way to get rid of this 0.0 right here, so this is a small issue that we have to live with for right now. So the nice thing about using a function in this way is you can create many transactions, because beforehand, if you had multiple transactions, you could only make the same transaction over and over again. You could only have Bob buying cake mix at a price of $5.99 at a quantity of 10. But we can go ahead and customize our function. We can call the function multiple times and pass in many values. So instead of doing Bob, let's do Liz. And I don't know why I put caps lock on there. That's weird. And let's say that Liz bought, I don't know, let's say some pottery, because, you know, why not? And I have no idea how much pottery would cost. Let's just say it's $15.99, and she bought 2 potteries. And as you can see down here, we have the first one, Bob purchased, and the second one is Liz purchased. So this is a nice way to reuse this function over and over again for multiple transactions. And of course, if you wanted to add a return statement, you could, like a return statement like so. Maybe you want to return the total cost, or maybe you could even, maybe you could return a string data type, like so. And then instead of doing print, you could say return, and it ends up returning this entire thing right there. And then you could go ahead and let transact1 equal this, and then let transact2 equal that, and then go ahead and print transact1 and print transact2. That'll get you the exact same results as what we saw earlier on. Just give it some time to run. There we go. So hopefully this was a useful video. If you forgot how to use return statements, please go to my other introduction video on functions. But for now, I am all done. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.